Hello, I'm going to show you a clear and simple step-by-step blueprint that you can take and apply to your Etsy POD shop today that'll help you get results like this. Now, what I'm not showing you is a get-rich-quick method. What I am going to teach you is a different way of thinking, a new mindset when it comes to creating print-on-demand products for Etsy. This will help you get sales on designs that you listed just days ago and teach you how to know with confidence that your designs will likely become bestsellers on Etsy very quickly. So now let's talk about what we're not going to do when it comes to creating a bestseller on Etsy. We're not going to have to spend a bunch of money on paid research tools. Those are absolutely not necessary when it comes to validating our design idea. We're also not going to copy existing designs on Etsy that are selling well. We're going to take a design concept that's doing well on Etsy, and I'm going to show you how to make it original by adding value so it can become a bestseller. We're also not going to spend hours on SEO researching the perfect keywords to go into our title and tags. And we certainly don't need to wait months for our listings to rank in the Etsy algorithm. With this method, you're likely going to see results, which means data like favorites, add to carts, and even sales on your listings within just a few days to weeks. So what we are going to do is we're going to use Etsy to find and validate niche ideas. We're going to add value to our design, and I'm going to show you how to get your designs up and listed on Etsy fast so you can have the best chance of a design taking off. Now, to show you how we're going to do all this, I'm going to use a case study of an example bestseller from my very own shop. Now, I posted this design, which was for the 4th of July on June 12th, so just a couple of weeks before the actual holiday season. And as you can see, within the very first 3 days, I made my first sale. And then within 10 days, my listing became a bestseller. So we're going to follow 4 simple steps. Number 1, we're going to conduct our market research. Number 2, we're going to create our design. Number 3, we're going to mock it up and write our SEO, so then we can do the 4th step, which is list and repeat. Now, for a bestseller, the winning formula boils down to your design plus the demand. If you have a good design, but no one's searching for it or wanting to purchase, then you won't get any sales. And if you have a bad design, even with good search volume, you're most likely not going to get any sales. So what does this look like in terms of data? Well, it boils down to your clicks and your search volume. So if your design is good, and that's including both your design and your mock-up, you have a click-worthy thumbnail that stops buyers' attentions when they're scrolling through the sea of search results and they click on yours, that's gonna tell Etsy, hey, this person has a good listing, let's promote it in the algorithm. And then once they click into it, you want to make sure that all of your mock-ups and your info cards help lead the buyer to make an easy decision, which is sales, because the number one thing that determines your rank in the Etsy search result is sales volume. Now, assuming we have a good design, you also want to make sure that what you're designing is actually being searched for and in demand. So this is usually determined by the time of the year and the different seasons and holidays that are coming up. So in my case, my holiday was July 4th. I went on Etsy, I researched currently best-selling July 4th designs. I saw a concept that was on the rise. I took the concept, I made an original version, and I listed it, and within 3 days, I got my first sale for that listing. So the 4 key steps are: number 1, market research; 2, creating your design; 3, mocking it up and writing the SEO; then 4, listing and repeat. And the winning formula boils down to 2 things: your design plus demand. If you have a good design, but there's not enough demand for it, meaning shoppers are not actively searching for your item and they're not buying, then you're not going to get any sales. Now, if you have a bad design, even with a high demand, so buyers are actively searching for similar products in your niche, you're also not gonna get any sales because you're competing against all of these other listings with a great design, a great thumbnail, and great offer. Now, in terms of data, what should you be looking for? Well, you should be looking at your clicks and the search volume. So if you have a good design, meaning your thumbnail is good, you have a click-worthy thumbnail that will stop buyers' attentions when they're scrolling through the sea of search results and they choose to click on yours, that tells the Etsy algorithm to promote your listing more because it's getting shoppers' attention. And once they click into your listing, this is now your only opportunity to convert them, and you convert them through your mock-up images and your info cards. And that should make the buying decision really easy for your customers to eventually add to cart and purchase. Now, for demand, you want to design for a niche that has high search volume, and this is typically predicted by the time of year it is, what holidays and seasons and trends are coming up. That's what you want to be designing for and ahead of time. So in my case, the niche I was doing was 4th of July. I went on Etsy, I looked at the currently bestseller and popular now items in the July 4th niche, and I found a design concept that was actually uprising and just starting to take off, and I'll go in depth about how I knew that it was like rising in popularity and people were actively buying it right now. And I took the design, I made it original by creating my own version of it, and I listed it, and within the first few days I got my first sale on that listing. So now let's dive into step 1, which is market research. So this is the exact method that you're going to follow. So first you're going to open an incognito browser, you're going to go to etsy.com, and you're going to type in the search bar the niche that you think that you want to design for. If you don't have any idea what niche you want to design, just start by typing in t-shirts if that's the product type you're working with, and go from there. You'll discover many great niches to go through by just clicking into the first few results on the results page and seeing what is selling. Now, so let's say we were designing for the 4th of July, so you would just search July 4th shirt, and then that's exactly what I did, and I went from top to bottom. I started clicking on the listings that either had a bestseller badge or a popular now badge. Now, my secret is that I typically like to focus on listings with the popular now badge and few to zero reviews. Now, this might go against what you would typically think makes sense, which is looking for a listing with lots of reviews, because that means it's been bought a lot of times, right? The reason I like to look for the combination of the popular now badge with few or zero reviews is because it is the best indicator that this listing is selling right now and customers are buying it, because it was recently created, and although it's been selling multiple times, it hasn't been selling long enough for customers to already have gotten the product and left a review. It means it just started selling the past couple of days, which means this design concept is a design concept you want to focus on right now, because that is what the market is telling you is selling. In addition, you want to take note of these other indicators, which are the in 20 plus cards, over 20 people, or over X amount of people have bought this in the last 24 hours. Those are also good indicators that your product is currently in demand. So once you've found a design concept that you have validated through this market research process, we've come to step 2, which is making your design. Now, this step is very important in that the design you create must have some new additional feature or value that you can bring to the market, because if you just recreate the exact same design as the design you found in step 1, you're not bringing anything new to the market. It's the exact same offer as the other seller, and since the other seller is getting more sales and more sales volume than you, there's no reason that the Etsy algorithm would want to promote your design. So there are 3 main ways that you can make an original design. You can either keep the saying and change the graphic, or make a similar graphic but you change what the text says. And then third way is you can cross niche or bring that design concept into an entirely different niche. So now that you've created your design, we come to step 3. Now if you spend so much time trying to create the perfect mockup or write the perfect SEO, that's deterring you from listing on Etsy. And at the end of the day, what's important to Etsy is that you're consistently listing in your shop. So for the mockups, I recommend you use pre-made templates and use a batch automation. So I wrote my own automation script that will batch make the mockup. So what I have is a design, I have a template, I have like a model mockup, I have a flat line mockup, I have the color chart, the size chart, a reviews info card, like why choose us type of card, and it'll automatically generate all of the mockups for that design. Then for the SEO, and this is my kind of SEO hot take, but I don't think SEO, based on my past experience of running my shop over the years, is as important as a good design is. So when it comes to SEO, I always just pull keywords from existing bestsellers or popular now items on the marketplace, and then I also use AI to help me write and finalize the whole title and tags. So now that your mockup and SEO is done, you have all of the key factors for putting an Etsy listing up, right? So you want to get that listing up and then repeat the process. I usually like to create a few variations of design and post it rather than just creating one-off designs. And then once you do that, just repeat the whole process for each design and niche you want to go to. Now, I'd say for new sellers and even experienced sellers, the listing process is the key pain point because it just takes so much time. It's very time consuming, and I personally love the design part, and I'm not as big of a fan of the listing part as much. So what I did was I created an automation that will bulk upload all my designs to Printify and publish them to Etsy Draft, and then I use the same automation calls AI to write and update the SEO title and tags, as well as batch create my mockups, and then using the Etsy API, upload the product images. So basically, all I have to do is drag and drop my design into a folder, run my automation, and that listing is finalized as an Etsy draft with the mockup images and all of the SEO written for me that I can then just go in, maybe update a few attributes, and hit publish. And that has been my biggest key differentiator that has helped me see more results and more success quickly. And if there was anything else in this overall process that you'd like to have a more detailed breakdown, or if you'd like me to explain further and make tutorials for, also comment down that below and I will be happy to answer you guys' questions. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.